Okay, I'm standing where the barracks were during the Fort Frederica time. You know, this area around here, the perimeter, was the barracks. All the way around where the shell is and these foundations, the tabby foundations, was the barracks. In the middle was the parade grounds, and there's their well. And that's the main barracks right there, fortress. I'm standing at the barracks at Fort Frederica. This is what they look like. You can see the perimeter and then the guard tower right there. But this where this shell is, was the perimeter where the barracks were for the soldiers stationed here. They didn't have families or anything. Here, this was their barracks all the way around. And that was the guard tower. You can see where the chimneys were. You can see where the fireplaces were for each one of them. They also had a well out here. You know that well is because they had to have a source of water back then. Where I'm standing now is the parade ground where they basically hung out, probably a formation. And you could tell there was fireplaces in each section because it got cold. That's where the fireplaces were. One there, one over here, one in almost each section, all the way around with the tabby foundation. About to walk in the guard tower. You see it's made out of that tabby. Got that castle look at the top, parapets. They call them parapets out there. They look at that castle and they got a window because it was 2 stories. About to walk into where the guard tower was. You know, it's 2 stories. You can see where the upper level was on there. Got that hole up there. Window so you could peek out. It was a lot bigger. You could tell where it's falling down over time. But it's made out of that same kind of tabby everything else is made out of. And this is the back of the guard tower right here. See that? Anybody knows what that was for in the guard station? I guess a lookout point. You can tell it's deliberate. But there's another one right there too. You can see the half of it there. So probably lookout area. There's probably one right there as well. You can see the brick. Okay, you see these holes? When you make tabby, you have to put dowel rods every level. Every level is made separately. And see the bottom is made at one time. That level is made at one time. And these dowel rods are put in there while they're making it and they pull it out when they get done making it. Look at that. It's impressive. 1700s. And this is the doorway. I look like he's walking out of the guard tower into the parade grounds. I'm sure they had a door on the other side over here. We can get in and out. You can still see some of the tabby there. Another fireplace. Also another little section out here right out next to the guardhouse. Probably part of the guardhouse as well. Looks like it stepped up in there so you can see it. One more look at the barracks at Fort Frederica, 1740s. This is what the barracks looked like at Fort Frederica on St. Simon's Island during the 1940s. This is before the National Park Service got a hold of it and cleaned and restored it. Another old picture of the barracks before the National Park got a hold of it at Fort Frederica. It's another picture taken at a different time. You can see the overgrowth of the vines on the barracks at Fort Frederica. This is the way the barracks looked after the National Park Service took it over. This tree is no longer here today, but there were approximately 200 soldiers stationed at Fort Frederica in the 1740s. These barracks were probably built in the late 1730s, along with the fort, the main fort and the magazine. About 200, like I said, 200 soldiers are stationed here. Several of them lived with their wives in a house, and several of them lived in these around this perimeter in like barracks.